these mothers upset. Speaking of mamas, I wonder why all these mothers are dead. They following movie, got the story gully stuck in my head. Walt Disney and Freemason, and he worked for the feds.
It wasn't Walt Disney. It wasn't Walt Disney.
Nice adjustment there, going to the full court press, trying to ratchet up the pressure here a little bit.
So for the Golden State Warriors right now, they've got MP. He's out there at Pajemski. Chet Holmgren out there at Jarris Walker. And Greg is a former point guard in this league. Give us your top 4 generals of all time. The guys that could direct the floor and could control a game.
Wow, if we're talking traditional point guards, I gotta go Magic. Isaiah, CP3's in that conversation, Jason Kidd. But I've got a separate list for that hybrid point guard, right? Which that includes guys like Steph and Iverson, West, and the great Oscar Robertson.
Now we'll hear from Allie LaForge, and she's got a story for us.
The magic touchstone, they gave us Jessica Rabbit. I can't be mad, but look at the I figured it out. They want to sexualize people with figuring out what it's about. Now the one that sound like the conspiracies, so I make this list. Parents, Disney Kill. Here we go. Tarzan, mom dead. Nemo, mom dead. Where's Cinderella's parents? Oh yeah, they all dead. Snow White, mom dead. Lilo, mom dead. Pocahontas too. Now her daddy is John Smith. Bambi, mom dead. Hunchback, mom dead. Beauty and the Beast, Bella's raised by her papa. Jasmine, mom dead. Ariel, mom dead. I'ma stop watching. It's time to cancel Disney. Cancel Disney, yeah. I know y'all coming with me. You coming with me, yeah. They coming for the kids. I'm not kidding. So it's really time to cancel Disney.
They've been having major problems offensively. Definitely in a bit of a dry spell. On the floor for the Warriors, we got Brandon Pajemski. He's out there with MP. Walker out there.
I'm not kidding, so it's really time to cancel Disney. Cancel Disney, yeah.
16,000 square. 8 million up there, 2 million down here.
Cancel Disney. Cancel Disney, yeah. I know y'all coming with me. You coming with me, yeah. They coming for the kids. I'm not kidding, so it's really time to cancel Disney.
There's the double team with Walker. Tim, when you think about how the game is currently being played, how hard do you think it is to defend?
It's a lot tougher than it used to be because you have much more.
Kids, I'm not kidding, so it's really time to cancel Disney. Cancel Disney, yeah. Now we know Pinocchio's nose has gone way too long. The flexibility does not like my toes. Somebody help me, I really got an addiction. No scratching fiend in it.
Here's James, still without a bucket. On the floor for the Warriors, they've got Holmgren. MP is out there with Brandon Pajemski. Then there's Jarris Walker. And you might think the toughest picks are set by the bruisers. But some say the shooters actually set the best screens. Why is that?
Well, the guy guarding the shooter doesn't want to leave their side. So when they screen you, you get no.
Replace all the heroes and put wizards instead. I think the conclusion is here that we have all been misled. Cancel Disney. Cancel Disney, yeah. I know y'all coming with me. You coming with me, yeah. They coming for the kids.
I like this move to the full court press, putting some extra pressure on the offense.
Henderson out there with James. Then there's Yakitonis. Then it's Alexander Sarr. And it's Jovic in at the power forward position. That's the group on the floor for Miami. And players these days with great ball handling, but occasionally getting away with a carry at times.
Oh, you know, BA, the old discontinued dribble. I mean, this might be where tracking cameras can start to help because he's got such a tough call for an official to assess in a moment.
A chance here to catch up with Ali from the sideline.
Well, the Miami Heat head coach Eric Spoelstra talked about their approach, and he said, you got to try to take control of the game, set the tone, and play consistently throughout. Everybody's trying to do the same thing. You can impose their will longer than the other team. Guys, that's you.
He knows his stuff. All right, Ali, thanks for the report. And there's the call. It's going to be an illegal screen.
You're not going to fool the officials too often on an illegal screen.
That's a very avoidable turnover. You got to focus on the details.
Now, here's James. 15 in his last outing. Here's Henderson. Oh, MP with a block.
Just an ugly show for him offensively. Yep, no way to describe it, just ugly, and that has talent.
And a closer look here at the hustle stats for the Warriors.
When you pile up the blocks earlier in games, it really can affect the other team. They lose confidence offensively.
You know, they've also been very effective at running the floor. Just a ton of points in the fast break. It's been a big part of their success.
Now here's Henderson. 37 points his last time out. Another miss. They desperately need a bucket.
Okay, so if I were to say this was a disaster of a period for him, it would be an understatement. But hey, sometimes you gotta shoot your way out of the slump. Even for him, this man is on fire. His team is winning, and it doesn't get better than that.
Trying to find a spark here.
Yes, indeed. A rough stretch offensively. They could really use a basket. It's been a challenging quarter for them, and his offensive inconsistency is a driving factor.
Now here's Walker. He has 7. Stolen by Sarr. Henderson outside. Pass to Sarr. James against MP. 5 on the clock. Back to James. Lets it go from deep.
You should know a young guy like MP is looking to send that shot all the way into the crowd. This is
language.
Cancel Disney.
Hard to watch. You might want to put the kids to bed. This man still has not hit a shot this quarter.
Coming for the kids, I'm not
Inside.
Disney. So it's really time to cancel Disney. Cancel Disney, yeah. I said we cancel Disney. Cancel Disney, yeah. I know y'all coming with me. You coming with me, yeah. They're coming for the kids, I'm not kidding. So it's really time to cancel Disney. Cancel Disney, yeah.
And they've gone to the full court press here, looking to make things as difficult as possible. And maybe
I really got an addiction. No scratching, fiending, and itching. Disney Plus subscription,
yeah. Now they trying to cover it up, but just get the cover it up.
Little Mermaid, no wonder these mothers upset. Speaking of mothers, I wonder why all these mothers are dead. Before the movie gets started,
Here's Henderson. 37 points his last time out. Boy, they'd love if anyone could get a bucket.
Yeah, their offense has been grinding to a halt.
At the forward slot, it's Wiggins and Bear. James is out there with Scoot Henderson. And it's Sarr in at the 5, roaming the paint. That's the group in the game for the Heat.
He's looking pretty unsettled at the moment. Doesn't seem like he has a great feel for his shot.
And from the sideline, let's catch up with Allie.
Well, MP in the last matchup against the Nuggets has delivered quite a performance. He ended up with a jaw-dropping amount of points, and he did everything else he could have wanted as well, ending with a triple-double. That night, he etched in people's memories. He was relentless. I'm curious to see how he follows it up. Guys?
Okay, Allie, thanks. It really was some night for him. He couldn't have been much better, Grant.
Yeah, B.A., there was nothing they could do to contain him. Once he got rolling, it was game on.
Well, he did whatever he wanted. I love the fact that he was under control, yet very aggressive.
And Grant, when talking about certain players, we hear expressions like, he does the little things, he does the dirty work. What does all that mean exactly?
You know, it's about what doesn't show up in the box score. Setting good screens, winning those 50-50 balls, hustling back on defense. Often, it's just as important as putting up those points. The other team just looks more in sync and is riding the momentum.
Yeah, it's just time to settle everything down. Get high percentage looks and then D up. Well, unless the defense adjusts, I don't see any change here. He has flat out taken over this game with a score.
Now here's Wiggins. His last outing, we saw him score 13. On target from range.
Wow, look at Ben with that kind of shooting range, and it's good to see him shooting the ball with confidence from deep.
Out left to the wing. Pass to Holmgren. Back to MP. 6 to shoot. Holmgren against Adebayo.
Cancel Disney. Cancel Disney, yeah. I know y'all coming with me. You coming with me, yeah.
They coming for the kids, I'm not kidding. So it's really time to cancel Disney. Cancel Disney, yeah. Let's say we cancel Disney.
On the floor for the Warriors, we've got Brandon Pajemski. He's out there with MP. Walker out there with Holmgren. All right, let's honor a player who set the bar high last month. Our player of the month for the West, MP.
He has been so impressive on defense, and it really comes down to effort. He has been working so hard to terrorize the offense and keep them under pressure at all times.
And keeping us updated from the sideline, Allie LaForce.
Thanks, guys. Well, MP in their last time out against the Nuggets was outstanding. He had an unbelievable amount of points and put up double digits in 3 categories. It was a performance that will stick with the fans for a long time. Let's see what he has in store for us in this one.
That's good stuff, Allie. Absolutely. He was a one-man show in that one, Grant.
Yeah, he was not going to let them lose that game. We'll see if he comes in with that same mentality tonight.
And I'll be interested to see if the opposition looks to double him, because this should open up opportunities for his teammates to get going.
Now here's Sarr. No points yet. 5 to shoot. Wiggins passes to Sarr. Nice start for him. Sinking his first shot.
Nice play. Good timing. Wiggins delivers a perfect pass.
Holmgren, left side. Back to MP. 44 seconds left in the first half of this one. Pass to Bufkin. And here's MP.
Symbols in the movies, let me tell you what is goofy. They try to turn your kids into Disney goofies. Remember cuties? I think God is done to stop the magic. Start strong, but Disney gave us Jessica Rabbit. I can't be mad, but look at the figure. I figure it out. They want to sexualize Twitter, what's bigger and no one.
56 seconds left in the first half. Setting the floor for the Warriors. We've got Chet Holmgren. Mitchell Robinson out there with MP. And it's Bufkin in at the shooting guard.
Well, after making 1 in the first quarter, he's now made 2 here in the second. Starting to get it going a little bit.
And here's Henderson after the three-pointer from Chet Holmgren. Tigers from 14. Warriors with the rebound. Holmgren's got 6 rebounds now in the game.
Well, he is fighting through it right now, still looking to get his first make of the quarter, but it's been an ugly start.
Give them credit. Offensively, they've been the more efficient team.
Yeah, they have just found the better looks, and they are capitalizing.
Now, here's Wiggins. Last game we saw him score 13. The shot by Yaka Jonas, no good. MP outside, and the Warriors tack on 2 more.
Unwilling to let up, even for a moment. That's his killer instinct, just fanning the flame.
Yeah, he can taste a win right now, just trying to close it out.
And so it's MP making things happen for the Golden State Warriors. They kept going to him again and again, and he delivered with a bastard work. And we'll be back with you shortly.
Well, can't worry, man.
The Western Conference winner, MP.
Boo.
Not shocking to see him take home the prize. His determination on the floor. And now, how about those first 2 quarters of play? Just a dominating performance for the Golden State Warriors. Whoa, I love seeing a team spread the ball around like this. If it's an assist, it's a difference in this game right now. This is one of those just keep doing what you're doing. If they can, I expect this lead to grow.
I know y'all coming with me. You coming with me, yeah.
Thanks for spending halftime with us. Time to get it back out to Kevin Harlan for the start of the third quarter.
Now we know Pinocchio's nose that's gone way too long for us to believe the lies that we're told. Somebody help me, I really got an addiction. No scratching feet in the engine.
And with the second half upon us, we'll find out if this game becomes the route that it's threatening to be. So, Greg, you played in the league over a decade. What's the toughest thing about being a pro basketball player?
Lots of things. To me, it's just keeping your spot. Every year, there's just so much talent coming in. So holding on to a place on the roster, and that can be as difficult as anything.
Wiggins in the front court along with Adebayo. Anderson out there with James. And it's Saar in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. So that's where Eric Spoelstra starts the second half with. Now, let's take a minute to talk to Allie LaForce courtside. Allie.
Well, MP in the last matchup against Denver delivered quite a performance. He ended up with a jaw-dropping amount of points, and he did everything else you could have wanted as well, ending with a triple-double. A game that nobody will soon forget, that's for sure. How is he going to follow that up tonight? We'll see, guys.
Good stuff as always, Allie. Thank you. Greg, how impressive was it watching him completely take over?
Unstoppable. They won that game because of his effort and just his overall relentlessness.
Well, he really lit it up. Maybe we'll see a repeat performance tonight.
Shot from the top of the key. The shot's good on the assist by Walker. MP's got 53.
And I bet he wishes they could play this team every night. Things are going great out there offensively.
And wide open look.
Here we go. Dogs and mom dead, Nemo, mom dead. We're sending around spirits, oh yeah, they gone dead. Snoop Boy, mom dead, Ego, mom dead. Pocahontas 2, never dead, he is John Smith. Bambi, mom dead. Hunchback, mom dead. Beauty on the face, fellas raised by her papa. Jasmine, mom dead. Miriam, mom dead. I'ma stop watching, it's time to cancel Disney. Cancel Disney, yeah.
And with a little over a minute gone by, the second half is underway. And so in the game for the Warriors, MP is out there with Brandon Podziemski. Then it's Chet Holmgren. Then there's Mitchell Robinson. And it's Walker in at power forward. And, Coach, we see more and more teams looking to push the pace. What took so long?
I don't know what took so long, B.A. I think what happens as coaches and as players, you realize that it's tough to score against the best defensive team in the half court where their defense is set. And so if you can get the ball down the floor quickly and be on the attack before they are locked in, you got a much better chance to generate quality shots.
Let's check in with our reporter, Allie LaForce.
Well, MP in the last matchup against Denver delivered quite a performance. He ended up with a jaw-dropping amount of points, and he really stuffed that stat sheet for them, ending up with a triple-double. Truly, one of the most exceptional performances we've seen in recent memory. A monster night for him. Back to you.
Nice work, Allie. Thank you. It was obvious he could do anything he wanted. A fantastic win.
Well, I'll tell you, he was enjoying himself out there, kind of like us here in the broadcast booth. And whoever was matched up against him wasn't enjoying themselves.
Yeah, well, winning is usually fun, especially when you have it going like he did.
2 on the clock.
Cancel Disney. Cancel Disney, yeah. I know y'all coming with me. You coming with me, yeah. They coming for the kids, I'm not kidding. So it's really time to cancel Disney. Cancel Disney, yeah.
Riggins in the front court along with Adebayo. Anderson out there with James. And it's Saar in at the pivot spot, mainly in the middle. It's the group on the floor for Miami. You know, Greg, a lot of the best scorers do what's called punting, looking to create contact with the defender that they've zeroed in on.
Yeah, and that can be a legitimate technique to really negate a shot blocker. But when the offensive player basically initiates all the contact, we can get some of those cheap foul calls.
And now, Allie LaForce has something for us from the sideline.
Well, MP in the last matchup against the Nuggets delivered quite a performance. He ended up with a jaw-dropping amount of points, and he registered a triple-double, showing off all of his skills. He just went out there and played his game, absolutely owning the opposition in the process. Back to you guys.
All right, Allie, great stuff as always. In stretches, he was absolutely dominant. Great, he left the real performance tonight.
This team needs his contribution. When he's right, he makes winning plays time and time again.
Expect them to go to him early and often. Don't want to let that hot hand go to waste.
Bangs home the trifecta.
Yeah, this looks like a pregame shoot-around with all the threes they're allowed.
And it's Adebayo with the ball for the Heat. They'll take on the Thunder at Paycom Center after this one. That'll be game 1 of a 4-game road trip. And a wide open look here for Riggins. That's in, coming off an assist from Adebayo. Wiggins has got himself going there. His first points of the game in the deep hole. And finished off by Walker.
I tell you, he's playing the game with pure excitement right now.
He kept off that dunk with some serious end time on the rim. For Miami, they've gone even 50% to the floor here in the third quarter. 4 of 8. James outside. Shoots over Pajemski. James, no good.
Gotta find easier shots when you're already struggling. That's not gonna get it.
For 3, Holmgren. And the Warriors, another 3.
Yeah, those are starting to add up, guys. Of their last 5 passes, 3 have been tripping.
Here's Henderson. Walker with the rebound. Walker's got 9 rebounds now tonight.
And another miss. He's having a really ugly game.
Yeah, about as ugly as it can have, you're right.
And he's made his mark on offense especially. They gotta be thankful he's on their squad.
Now here's Henderson. He has 7. James.
Sometimes I just really. Sun comes out and the earth cries loud.
And so Henderson will bring it up to the Miami Heat on the floor for the Warriors. Jarris Walker.
Know that God's here, we see him every day. And the
and wait. Gonna wait and wait upon the Lord. Shall renew their strength.
Wings as eagles, they shall run and not be weary. They shall walk again.
Miami's gone 1 of 4 3-point shots here in the third. So Stan, just for old time's sake, do you think the league should bring back the hand check? Do you miss it?
Well, look, Kevin, I think what the league...
They choose me. This is the word of the Lord.
Our duty is to destroy the enemy.
And God gave us this authority to do it.
Let's do it.
God gave us the authority to do it. Let me see you,
Now here's Henderson. 7.
tired of being fake Christian, so I'm real now.